Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Hotel. Praise God. What's up? What's happening? Or whatever it is that you subscribe to. I need y'all to ride with me. I got a story I'm going to share about folks was too woke. Woke folk with GD. Now, you always going to have somebody on the zone that is woke, quote unquote woke, or conscious, or about black power, and they always trying to teach, which is a good thing. I never knock woke folk, but I understood that you can't make nobody do, or you can't make nobody learn. You can lead a horse to the water, but you cannot make the horse drink the water, if you could pick up what I'm putting down. I understood that it's a certain way you had to move in prison for guys not to look at you a certain kind of way, because once cats feel like you feel like you better than them, or you smarter than them, or you trying to be on top of them, or be their daddy, or something like that, they gonna figure out a way how to put you in that blender, get you up out of there. Put you in that crack, get you up out of there. Shoot you in all type of crosses, because ignorance is bliss and knowledge is power. Ignorance cannot stand knowledge. I need y'all to pick up what I'm putting down. So I understood that. So even though, I was a reader, even though, God blessed me to be intelligent, I did not make myself seem like I was better than everybody. And that's probably one of the reasons why people gravitated to me, and people would listen to me, and people would let me give them advice. Not all people, but most people. But before I share the story, I want to share something. For those who new to the channel, I used to live in Shreveport, Louisiana. When I got out of prison the second time, I stayed in Shreveport, Louisiana for about 10 years, 8, 9, 10 years. And I was part of what they call the conscious community. And I told y'all I've owned 2 businesses. And one of those businesses, the one I said about I really wasn't making no money, I was doing a lot of community work. I was putting on events and different things like that. It was a cultural store, a bookstore, a clothing store. We sold books, we sold clothes, we sold oils, we sold African attire, black soap, a special kind of deodorant that didn't have all the chemicals in it. It was that type of store. And how I got involved with the store, it was right after Alton Sterling got unalived in Baton Rouge by the police. And at this time, I think I had been in Shreveport probably a year. But when the brother got killed, when the brother got unalived, I was thinking to myself, like, come on, bro, you got all that knowledge, you got all that information. You know certain things that a lot of black people don't know. And you ain't doing that. Like, you ain't trying to help nobody. You know what I mean? That's the way I was thinking. So I started getting out in the community. And the first place I went to was this bookstore that I eventually became the owner of, me and another cat. But the owner, the original owner, her name was Mama T. Mama T is an elder. Mama T had a lot of respect in Shreveport. Mama T is originally from Oklahoma, I believe. and then she lived in Dallas, and then she moved to Shreveport. She did a whole lot of community work, a whole lot of respect. She did a lot, and everybody in Shreveport loved Mama T. So she passed the business down to me. I guess she seen something in me. She was like family. She was like my second mother. And over the years, I mean, we traveled together. We went to New York, we went to Philadelphia, we went to Houston, we went to Dallas, and this when I was doing the public speaking, because I was the president of the UNIA. And for those who don't know what the UNIA is, that's the Universal Negro Improvement Association, started by Marcus Garvey. So I'm saying all that to say, and I got some stories I'm gonna share. I no longer consider myself a part of the quote unquote conscious community, because it's a lot of things that I just disagree with in my growth. You know what I mean? And I just felt like I needed to focus more on myself and more on my family, because I was taken away from my family for the sake of the community. Now, some people say, well, that's what you're supposed to do. I beg to differ, because one thing about the greats we've had, the Malcolm X's, the Martin Luther Kings, the Bobby Seals, the Huey P. Newmans, one thing about history, it's good to know what they did, respect what they did, and honor them for what they did, but you also have to learn from their mistakes. And the main mistakes that I see, my perception, my perspective, is they left their family alone for the sake of the community, and the community don't give a damn about them once they die. Some people do, the majority don't, because out of sight is out of mind. Yes, we have their history, yes, we have the books, but y'all gotta pick up what I'm putting down. Community starts with the family. So my perspective, my perception, being out in the forefront and your family suffering and you trying to save the community, it just don't make sense to me no more. But that's just me. I'm not telling you not to do, I'm not telling you what to do or how to do it. That's just me. That's my growth and that's my development. But I wanted to share that because I got a phone call this morning that Mama T is now with the ancestors. She passed this morning. I talked to her daughter, and she said Mama T was ready. She said that Mama T told her what African attire she wanted, what beads she wanted. They put her clothes on that she wanted, and she left this earth. So, Ashe, rest in peace to Mama T. And like I said, I got some stories I'm gonna share, but some other time. So, folks were too woke. Now, woke folk, like I said, he always was hovering over. Woke folk was a GD. He always hovering over the GDs because, you know, he knew the concept, he knew the lit backwards and forward, and he tried to merge it with the Black Power movement, which is good. Like, I trust me, I get it. But the way he was doing it caused, you know, the GDs to hate him. And so, over time, we in Marshall County. And I used to try to talk to woke folk like, bro, I mean, I get it. I understand. Trust me, I understand. But you can't move like that in prison. Like, these guys will do something to you. You know what I mean? Because to them, you present yourself like you better than them, and they will do something to you, bro. But he wouldn't listen. So one day, he talking to a brother, he talking to another GD about Black Power this, and you need to stop eating that pork, and you need to stop doing this, and you need to stop doing that. And you know, a lot of brothers just ignorant, and they don't understand, and they like, that's the vice lords, that's the Muslim, that's the stone, that's them. I'm not that. I'm a GD. I'm a eat pork. You know what I mean? They really just don't. They wasn't picking up what woke folk were putting down. But anyway, they get to arguing back and forth, man, and they just get to fighting. They get to fighting, and to make a long story short, they smashed woke folk because, you know, they said he brought undue heat for one. He disrespected the brother for two, and y'all got to fighting. They smashed woke folk. They ain't do nothing to the other brother, but they smashed woke folk. But you know, woke folk, he ain't catch PC. They told him he couldn't be he couldn't be GD. He couldn't be GD no more. You know what I mean? But you know, after he got out the hole, he stayed in the hole, because when you fight, and you know the police catch y'all, like they come on the zone and they have to regulate, you going to the hole, and you gonna stay in the hole at least 30 days or better. So he ended up getting out the hole. Now he ain't come back on the same zone. He went to another building. But you know, you in prison, you gonna see people. You know, woke folk became a Muslim, and so he put that energy into Islam, which I respected. I understood, because you know, I've been studying Islam since I was 16, 17, ever since the county jail. I've been studying Islam, so I understood, but I knew I was in prison, and I eventually became a Muslim in prison. And I got some stories I'm gonna tell about that too. And I know some people be like, why do guys go to prison and become a Muslim? Why not? Like, why not get yourself together while you're in prison? Why not learn while you're in prison? Even if you become a Christian, why not? You think a person's supposed to die being a thug, or die being ignorant? Like that ain't you supposed to grow, and you supposed to develop into, you know, becoming a better person. That's what life is about. You don't supposed to stay the same, and you don't supposed to stay stagnated. So yeah, woke folk were too woke. Woke folk got his issue, but it ain't funny, and I really hated that happened to woke folk, because I know he meant good. But in prison and in the world, bro, you can't be too woke. You can't make people do things. Like, people gotta see it and understand it, and then maybe they'll grow into, you know, and into that light that you're trying to share. You know what I mean? So yeah, woke folk were too woke, but I respect woke folk. Woke folk eventually went home. You know what I mean? Woke folk became a Muslim. He eventually went home. He put that energy into where it was respected, and I respect woke folk. Yeah, so I just had to drop them few gems, man. So again, rest in peace, Mama T. Ashe, Mama T. A lot of people gonna miss you. Yeah, so y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment. I don't even care if you don't like the video. Make sure you hit that like button. You know, leave me a comment. Say something. You gotta do something. It's your main man, Yasir. Till the next story, y'all be smooth out here.